Before Unleashed, before Generations, before Sonic was drifting through cities at the speed of sound, there was Sonic Rush, the DS game that turned speed into a weapon. It didn't create the modern Sonic formula. Sonic Adventure already planted those seeds. But Sonic Rush, it took that energy and turned it into something new. This was the game where the boost era truly began. The start of that high-speed, trick-filled, adrenaline-pumping style that would come to define Sonic for a whole new generation of fans. In this video, we're diving straight into how Sonic Rush pushed the franchise forward, and why it still goes ridiculously hard in 2025. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. In the late 90s and early 2000s, Sega was caught in the thick of the console wars. After the massive success of the Genesis, things took a downturn with the Dreamcast. Despite being a beloved console, the Dreamcast lost out to Sony's PlayStation 2 and Nintendo's GameCube. This defeat was more than just losing hardware sales. It shook Sega's foundation. In 2001, they made the tough decision to exit the console business and become a third-party developer. Suddenly, Sega wasn't competing with Nintendo or Sony anymore. They were making games for their consoles. This shift put Sonic in an uncertain spot. The franchise needed to evolve to survive, but it wasn't clear which direction to take. Dreamcast's Sonic Adventure 2 had pushed Sonic into the 3D and brought new storytelling, but follow-ups were hit or miss. On handhelds, the Sonic Advance series on the Game Boy Advance kept the classic 2D side-scrolling alive, but it felt safe, solid, but not groundbreaking. Meanwhile, the gaming landscape was changing. The Nintendo DS had just launched in 2004, bringing 2 screens, touch controls, and more power than previous handhelds. It was an exciting new platform that promised fresh gameplay possibilities. For Sega and Sonic, the DS was more than just another system. It was a chance to reinvent what a Sonic game could be on a handheld, combining classic speed with new mechanics and modern flair. Sonic Rush would become that experiment, the game that captured the thrill of speed like never before and laid the groundwork for the boost era to come. After Sega exited the console race, Sonic needed a fresh start, and the Nintendo DS presented the perfect opportunity. Sega teamed up with DIMS, the studio behind the Sonic Advance series, to bring Sonic handheld again, but this time they aimed for more than just another 2D side-scroller. The development team spent a lot of time figuring out how to best use the DS's 2 screens. Early on, they experimented with bold ideas like dynamic camera angles that would follow Sonic bouncing between screens, almost like a pinball. But they quickly found players struggled to track Sonic as he jumped between screens, which felt confusing and unnatural. Instead, the team designed the game so the 2 screens worked together as one tall continuous stage. Long slopes, vertical loops, and fast drops let players follow Sonic's movement smoothly between screens without losing momentum, making the DS feel like a bigger, faster playground than ever before. The real game changer was the introduction of the boost mechanic. Although the mechanic first appeared in the Sonic Advance series, the formula truly got perfected in Sonic Rush. Sonic could now blast forward at full speed, smashing through enemies and obstacles, as long as the players kept the tension gauge filled by collecting rings and pulling off sick tricks. This created a flow that rewarded skill and style, laying the foundation for the Sonic Boost era. While Sonic remained the star, Sonic Rush also introduced a new protagonist, Blaze the Cat. Much like Knuckles and Shadow before her, Blaze acted as a foil, a cool, mysterious rival from another dimension. She starts off reserved and distant, but grows closer to Sonic throughout the story. Originally, her world was meant to be the realm of the classic special stages, with Eggman Nega as her antagonist, adding rare depth to the handheld Sonic narrative. In short, Sonic Rush wasn't just another Sonic game. It was a carefully crafted experiment that merged classic 2D precision with modern speed, style, and presentation. And that blend changed everything for Sonic going forward. One of the standout features of Sonic Rush is its music. And the big reason for that is Hideki Naganuma. Known for his work on Jet Set Radio, Naganuma brought a fresh, bold sound to the Sonic universe. Unlike the traditional, catchy melodies Sonic fans were used to, Naganuma's soundtrack mixes jazzy, funky beats with electronic and hip-hop influences. The result is an energetic, urban vibe that perfectly fits the game's fast-paced and stylish gameplay. Naganuma wasn't just throwing random beats together. His tracks are complex, layered, and full of personality. Each piece feels like it's pushing the energy forward, driving players to keep moving, chaining boosts, and pulling off tricks. Matter of fact, have a listen. The soundtrack marked a turning point, proving that Sonic music could break boundaries and explore new genres while still feeling true to the series. The sound effects also shine, from the iconic Ring Collection chime to the satisfying thwack of stomping enemies. Every sound adds to the game's tactile, responsive feel. Simply put, Naganuma's music didn't just accompany the action, it became part of it, turning Sonic Rush into a full-on sensory experience. At its core, Sonic Rush is a classic 2D platformer, but it's not playing by old-school rules. From the jump, the game makes one thing clear: this is speed with style. The core gameplay loop is built around the boost mechanic. You fill up your tension gauge by collecting rings, landing tricks, off-ramps, and defeating enemies, and in return, you get a burst of raw speed that turns Sonic or Blaze into a blur. And it's not just for show either. Boosting helps you blast through enemies, skip past tricky sections, and keep your momentum flowing like butter. But that speed comes with a risk. Boosting blindly can send you flying into spikes, pits, or enemies. So instead of just holding right and hoping for the best, Sonic Rush demands flow mastery. You learn the rhythm, when to boost, when to jump, when to slow down just enough to survive the next drop. Level design leans into this hard. Each zone is like a roller coaster, made for speedrunners, in multiple routes, vertical loops, spring chains, and stylish trick ramps that reward quick reactions. You'll recognize classic Sonic level themes: tropical beaches, industrial factories, sky bases, but they've been rebuilt for DS's verticality and two-screen structure. The game also encourages replayability. The better you play, the more stylish your run feels, pulling off mid-air tricks, chaining boosts, hitting alternate paths. It all feeds that tension gauge and gives you that "I'm cracked" feeling. Boss fights flip the formula with short bursts of 3D gameplay. Suddenly, you're facing Eggman or Eggman Nega in behind-the-back showdowns, dodging attacks, charging boosts, and landing slow-mo punches. It's a change of pace, but it still feels rooted in the 2D foundation. Think of it as a flashy bonus round that breaks up the standard platforming. And one thing Sonic Rush gets really right: stage variety. From underwater pipelines to skydiving sequences, each zone adds new mechanics or hazards without slowing things down. It keeps the game fresh from start to finish. In short, the gameplay is fast, tight, and rewards mastery. It's classic Sonic reimagined for handhelds, and it plays like a dream. While Sonic Rush keeps its story fairly simple, it packs more personality and heart than you'd expect from a DS platformer. The setup, two dimensions are beginning to merge: Sonic's world and a mysterious alternate universe ruled by fire and chaos. This crossover pulls in two key villains: the familiar Dr. Eggman and his twisted counterpart, Eggman Nega. It's classic Sonic territory with a multiversal twist. The real standout, though, is Blaze the Cat, a powerful guardian from the other world, and the emotional core of the game. At first, she's cold, serious, and determined to solve things alone. But as the story progresses, her encounters with Sonic slowly chip away at that wall. She starts to realize that going it alone isn't always the answer, and that trusting others doesn't make you weak. Her growth is subtle, but it hits. By the end, she's not just a rival or second playable character. She's a fully formed hero in her own right. It's a dynamic we've seen before with characters like Knuckles and Shadow, the lone warrior who gradually finds connection through conflict. But with Blaze, it feels more grounded. She isn't just here to match Sonic. She's carving her own path alongside him. The story doesn't overstay its welcome either. It gives just enough context to keep things interesting, with quick, snappy dialogue and a clear arc. And when the two worlds finally collide, it pays off with one of the most hyped final acts in any 2D Sonic game. In 2005, Sonic Rush didn't just land, it made waves. What started as a bold handheld experiment became the blueprint for the next generation of Sonic games. The boost mechanic, first introduced here, would go on to become the core identity of the modern Sonic formula, seen in games like Sonic Unleashed, Generations, and Colors. But it wasn't just the boost that stuck. The flow-based level design, the vertical screen transitions, the flashy tricks and tension-based reward system, all of it helped redefine how Sonic could feel in a 2D space. And Blaze? She didn't just disappear after Rush. She became a staple of the Sonic universe, showing up in everything from Rush Adventure to Sonic 06, Generations, and beyond. Even the music direction left its mark. Hideki Naganuma's wild, genre-bending soundtrack reminded fans and developers that Sonic music could be experimental, edgy, and still hit just as hard. The impact of Sonic Rush doesn't stop with official releases. The passionate Sonic community has kept the spirit alive with projects like Sonic Rush 3D, a fan game that reimagines the fast-paced gameplay in a fully 3D environment. It's a testament to how much this game resonated with fans, inspiring creativity and keeping the Boost legacy vibrant even years later. And for longtime fans, Sonic Rush proved something important: that 2D Sonic still had a place in the modern era. It wasn't just a nostalgia trip, it was fast, fresh, and forward-thinking. To this day, many still consider Sonic Rush one of the best handheld Sonic games ever made. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. Sonic Rush might have been made for a handheld, but nothing about it felt small. From the moment you hit that first boost to the final showdown between worlds, this game delivered speed, style, and substance in a way Sonic hadn't done before, or honestly, hasn't done quite like since. It respected the roots of the franchise while boldly reinventing what 2D Sonic could be. And that's why Sonic Rush matters. It wasn't just a good Sonic game, it was a game changer, one that helped bridge the gap between old school fans and a new era of high-speed chaos. So whether you're revisiting it for the nostalgia or discovering it for the first time, just know, Sonic Rush still slaps. Thanks for watching. If you like this breakdown, feel free to drop a like, subscribe for more deep dives, and let me know in the comments, what's your favorite Sonic handheld game? Peace!